Good afternoon, Jermaine. It's so great to see you finally after this COVID lockdown. It's nice to see
I
your face.
know. No, likewise. It's been too long.
I know. Well, I really wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day, speaking with me, educating our clients at Mana Wine Storage on what you've been doing for the past couple years, especially the Crew Love Wine and,
Right.
hip hop and wine culture, how it's evolved, where it's headed. But first, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your past. Some of our clients, I'm sure, know you. For the ones that don't, I think this is a great introduction. So I know your time at Zacky's is really what introduced you to the world of wine. What
Right.
was it that wine captured your imagination?
Thank you so much for having me on. This is really an honor. I'm so grateful to speak with you on this stuff and just like kind of share my story. I think that I can change some minds and inspire some people. Um, but no, with wine, when I got into wine auction, I was straight out of the Bronx, New York. I was still rapping at the time. I was raised in hip hop culture, so that was kind of a natural thing for me. And I started working on a rap career. And when I started in college, I wanted to get a full time job. And it didn't matter what that job was. I just wanted to work somewhere that I could start from the bottom up and learn about how to run a business.
Mhm.
And that's really what kind of opened me up, like seeing all the different paths of business in wine. That is really what grabbed me. I didn't know that the industry existed, so I was like a sponge for knowledge. Aside from that, by working in auction, I really got a chance to see all the different parts of the spectrum of the wine industry. I worked with collectors, retailers, direct with the chateaus. Sometimes we're working with the winemaker. So I really had the opportunity to see all of the different parts of the wine industry, and that's what grabbed me. And I started to think about where I fit in there.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Do you currently collect wine, or do you sort of buy wine to drink for immediate consumption?
It's sad because because of my background, you would think that I'm a collector. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are bottles that I definitely hold on to, but I buy to drink. It's
Yeah.
just, like I used to collect sneakers back in the day, and I wore my sneakers as I collected them. So I tell people, just like my sneakers, I drink my wine.
That's a great.
But it's so good. I'm sorry, I never know. I won't be. Maybe I might not be here tomorrow. So let me enjoy this today.
Right, right. So, like I said in the beginning, you've really been working on a new venture. Zacky's has been in your past, but you've really been working on Crew Love Wine. Can you tell our clients a little bit about what that is and where you think it's headed?
Yeah, absolutely. So Crew Love Wine is a creative agency dedicated to blending wine and hip hop in the most organic ways. And when I started Crew Love, it was really I was rolling straight out of wine consulting, and Crew Love still is, of course, a consulting business, but I was consulting to one specific type of client, and I wanted to find a way to open up my services to different people. And to do that, I needed to attract a demographic like mine that I knew was growing. So with Crew Love, we blend wine and hip hop in a few different ways. One is through working with wine brands. Right now, we're partnered with Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan for his new wine, Licata. Aside from that, we also do that through different media projects. People really enjoy our podcast, Wine and Hip Hop, but we also have lots of visual versions being created now. There's Wine and Hip Hop TV, as well as a vlog that doing to show all of the different ways that we're connecting wine and hip hop. But aside from the wine brands, the media, we also do events. So lots of corporate events, activations for brands, and doing different wine and hip hop pairings in different forms of media for people.
Very cool. So what do you think are the main points of how wine and hip hop are related for folks who, don't know where the connection is there? How would you, um, simply put it to the world?
Yeah. Well, I think there are many ways that wine and hip hop are connected. One, and to me, the biggest one is the fact that both all art is subjective. It's something that's unique to you. It's your specific taste, and art sometimes doesn't necessarily need to be defined to be enjoyed. And I think that hip hop and it, relates to wine in that way because they're both arts. But for me, hip hop and was the way that I connected to wine culture because of so many of the people that I was interacting with coming up in the wine industry were fans of hip hop. And I was a big fan of hip hop, so we've grown up completely different lives. It might be a winemaker from France, but he grew up listening to American hip hop, and that's how he related to American culture. He or she may relate to American culture. And that was how I related. So, you look at both of those things, and they're both cultural, social equalizers. You can sit down and share a genuine experience with someone that you don't know, and both have a deep connection as long as you jam on this mutual thing the same way. So that's how I feel wine and hip hop are connected. But that's something I can go on about for days.
Do you typically try to, I know some people do this with opera, certain opera performances go well with certain Italian wines or what have you. Do you want to go there as far as pairing different songs or different artists with particular wines or different styles of wine? Or again, like you said, it's just subjective and whatever flows and whatever feels right. But is that something within the concept or?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big part of the concept because, I tell people that I don't teach wine education, I teach wine appreciation.
Mhm.
And I do that by meeting the crowd where they are. You're someone that's in the wine business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If I was to describe a hip hop song through wine and mention it about, I'd make comparisons with notes and different ways that you might be interpreting the wine. But if I'm approaching a more general audience, I might find something cool and catchy about the wine and relate it to a specific song. I'll give you an example. I was doing a wine tasting with German Wine USA the other day, and there was a producer called Von Wenning, and that was one of the wines I was presenting. So I found a song where the guy just repeated "win" throughout the chorus the entire time, But that's one way that you're making that connection with the song, and you're not gonna forget either when you walk away from it. So it's really about the audience and who I'm speaking with.
So how, I mean, you probably touched on this a little bit, but, define it a little bit more as how is wine and hip hop culture really helping to diversify the wine industry and why is it beneficial? I mean, we can assume, but I just want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think that hip hop has embraced wine on a commercial level. Wine and hip hop culture. You're now seeing more rappers mentioning wine in their songs. You're seeing it more in their videos. And hip hop music is very influential. I can't think of any other genre that tells you how to dress, where to eat, what's in style. Like hip hop is it kind of defines American culture in many ways, but it's so influential. Now, all that said, if you're influencing people to drink wine, you're able to, because hip hop has embraced wine, they're influencing people to drink wine. You're seeing that in the NBA right now. You know, a lot of these guys subscribe to hip hop culture, and this is where it's coming from. It's encouraged. So you know, we're seeing the influence happen, and you know, to answer your point about diversity, this is how you get a whole new crowd that was being ignored by the wine industry into wine by speaking to them in their voice, you know, like, and like I mentioned, I was raised in hip hop culture. You know, I subscribe to hip hop culture, and so many people now do as well. It's a great.
I was reading a while back, I think LeBron James took his whole team out to Napa several times to do wine
Yeah.
tastings. And that was a really, I think, cool, different exercise for them because a lot of the, people on the team had never been exposed to wine or even really thought about it. So I thought that that was a really, it is growing within the culture for sure.
Yeah, you know, it's the way you introduce something, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So I did also see that you had a big year for being mentioned in Wine Enthusiast,
Yes.
40 under 40 list, which is a huge accomplishment. How did you feel about that? I mean, were you surprised, honored, and has it changed anything within the crew love? Have you seen more promotional things come along because of that?
Yeah, you know, it all worked out. One, I was blown away. I was really honored. I know I was working very hard. So it's just nice to be mentioned, you know, and nice to be recognized like that. But you know, it happened at a time when my business was in transition. So, you know, getting that attention immediately made an impact for me, and especially all the online activations that we're doing. But aside from that, it was like a, a megaphone for our message and what we're trying to do. So I've seen, you know, even more wine and hip hop sort of activations pop up like outside of me. I've seen other people now doing wine and hip hop. So I think that yeah, wine enthusiast was great for me.
Great. You mentioned that you had a podcast going. Did you want to share with our clients where they can download your podcast and take a listen for themselves?
Yes, yes. Actually, you can experience our entire world at our website, wineandhiphop.com. Very easy to remember. Or you can just Google search wine and hip hop. You will find us. But yeah, you know, we have our podcast. We have other shows that we're working on. Well, brand new shows. There's a show called Wine Bars where three of my friends and I, we debate different rap lyrics with wine references in them. So it's a lot of fun, and that's also on the website. We got merch on the website, so it's a cool place to hang out.
Very cool. Very cool. One last question, because I feel like all, interviews go this way and ask this question, but what are you drinking right now? You mentioned German wines, but is
Mm.
there anything in particular?
Yeah, well, you know, to be completely honest, I'm drinking a lot of Licata. That's our brand with Raekwon from Wu Tang
Okay.
Clan. It's a super Lambrusco, you know, so not quite Lambrusco. It's outside of the DOC rules
Yeah.
because we added some extra bubbles to it. You know, we extended the maceration period by 6 weeks, so it's a lot deeper and darker and richer than other Lambruscos, but it is well balanced and delicious. So holidays, that I'm cracking a lot of that.
Any place in the city that you can think of off the top of your head where they sell it, or?
Oh yeah, you can go to licata.com. That's Licata with two A's, LICATAA.com. Or just yeah, you Google search Licata, we're everywhere.
Okay, cool. Very cool. All right, Jermaine. Well, I wanted to thank you very much. I mean, was there anything else that you wanted to share with us or mention?
No, I'm honestly, I'm happy that you hit me up. I'm happy to do this and chat with you. I feel like this was awesome. You know, I really appreciate the platform to talk about what we're doing and how we're hoping to change the wine industry.
All right. Well, enjoy your day. Again, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Have a good day and happy holidays.
Thanks, you too.
Okay. Bye bye.